the issue of Chibok, you know, someone said it's because of the silence. That was the reason why we have more kidnapping in that area. What's your take about it?
Thank you very much. When Buhari wanted to step into this office, he said that I am here to fight corruption. That is what he said. He said he is here to fight corruption. That is corruption. Now, because of what he wants to intimidate Goodluck Jonathan, God sent. And he said that if he did not win the election, he will make the government of Goodluck Jonathan ungovernable. All of us will remember what happened and we remember what he said. Because Igbo people said, what's
the meaning?
The meaning means if rain spoil the leg that you march on the ground, it will not spoil the word that you speak. He is the one who uttered such a word, Buhari. And today, he has turned against him. Because those boys that he prepared for his own political work is working against him right now. Because I heard one interview, some of them, they said that what they promised them in 2015, they are not seeing it. So therefore, they will carry their mission the way they like it. So, the issue of kidnapping, something where he bring, now he take. So, about Chibok girls, not about Chibok girls, na papa, they kidnap him Peking. Go keep him somewhere. If you like, make it chop him. If you like, make it swallow him. If you like, make it pregnant in Peking. Go see wahala. Even a Yoruba.
When that Chibok girl was kidnapped during under Jonathan government that time, they used it to lay Jonathan off to an arrangement. They thought it's going to end that way. I could remember that time when that happened. APC management that time, APC leadership that time, they were traveling to America, traveling all over the world. Cascading Jonathan, cascading this and that. It's a woman, it's this. He cannot even rescue those girls. It's a political plan. Today, he's overwhelmed now. President doesn't know he right, he doesn't know he left. He doesn't know where to start from. Today now, is a woman. Is he a woman or a man? Now, Jonathan is better than him during the tenure. Under security, under Buhari, insecurity, under Buhari kidnapping, under Buhari, so many things you can count about. Understand me? Killing every day. You hear 30, 100, 300. Even in your town, they kidnap 300 something. They landed in Katsina. So the man is not in charge. The man is weak. Osibanjo too is weak. The vice president is weak. The president is weak. So we have weak president APC there. All of them are weak. The ministers are weak. Tomorrow, a minister will accuse B minister. Are you not aware? Imagine, Edo, this is a festival in Edo State. Federal government has no money to give them. So to tell you that how worse this country is now. They cannot sponsor sport that will help the youth. It was the sport that will help the youth. It's the sport that unites Nigeria. Federal government cannot sponsor, they cannot help Edo people to sponsor festival, to tell you that this government, they finish our money, they eat our money, they are corrupt. Including the #1 man there every day. How can you bring your brother? Is it possible in the community? You only bring your brother to rule, is it going to work? So, we don't have government. For me, 2023, we need the youth, not all these youth who went to Baba Jebu. You see them in Baba Jebu house, you see them in sport house, you see them drinking paraga. Let the youth come out the way they come for NSAS. When we come out, we will remove this all these old men. I don't understand me. But this I'm doing here is part of it. This thing we are doing here is part of it every day. We come here every day, nobody pays us money. We come here and speak to the Nigerians, speak to the world. If other people are doing that, I think Nigeria, the old man will listen. But this time around, with the youth, I don't want the youth in a beer parlor. I don't want youth in where they smoke all these paraga Indian. Let everybody come together and remove this monster. 2023 will be for the youth, not all these lazy youth. Oh. People like me now, as I'm talking Ajana, like my brother who are talking to, we need to get up and push those hunters. Otherwise, we will still continue here. Otherwise, we will still come here and start complaining 2023. Don't collect rice. Don't collect money. You are free to collect money and rice. No problem, but vote them out. Thank you.
Do you believe those girls? Do you believe that those girls can still be brought back?
Those girls cannot come back again. I don't think they are alive. That's another thing. Because let me yes. Let me tell you the reason why. It was the politics during 2014, and the politics have escalated. Those girls cannot come back. According to them, they have married them out. I don't understand me. Some of them have died. Can you tell me? How can Twitter not relocate their district to Ghana? If Nigeria cannot even know where 100 and something girls is inside the bush, are you going to tell me those 100 and something girls still be in the bush now? For how many years? 7 years. It's a lie. I bet. I don't believe that those girls will still be in the bush. 7 years inside the bush. They will burn and multiply. So they will multiply. They are not there. All these are jamboree. What of those leaders who was championing Ezekwesili? Where is Ezekwesili today? Where is Bakare today? Where is all these people who was leading this? Where are they today? They've collected money. They have got their own share. The MPAMD was among Asha. Where are they today? Is anybody shout Chiboske? Where are they now? So it's a politics. Politics will start playing if the youth didn't get up and flush this old man out. So that is it.
From me, I think it's not just about silence. I think the federal government is having so much in their hands. And I think they are overwhelmed. Because for government, it's an embarrassment. And from the point of government, they would have wished if they have those students released, because it will save them so much embarrassment. So I don't think it's because of silence. I think it's because terrorism is a serious business globally. Terrorism is not a child's play. You are fighting with a formidable force. It is not just in Nigeria, but they have their network all over the whole world. So I don't think it's because of government silence. It's because the government is lacking the ability to combat and crush them. And until you are able to combat and win the war, you are not likely going to see the end of insurgency. And as long as insurgency continues, the government will continue to suffer in this fight against insurgency. Because go and look at what it takes to fight a guerrilla warfare. You understand that the weaker side is always advantageous, because you are not fighting a conventional war where your opponent engage you in real time. They stay and in the area where they are hibernating, and they look for soft targets. They look for areas to launch attack, and where as at the time you were not expecting the launch attack. And what they do is they try to demoralize your own fighting spirit. They try to create the impression that they are strong, where in itself they are not as strong as Nigerian troops. But the way it stands, as long as they continue to exist, they will continue to be able to do one or two things to discredit Nigerian government. Go and look at America war against Iraq. As at the time American government bombarded Baghdad and took over Baghdad, America did not register any casualty of their military personnel. But after they've taken control of Baghdad, Iraq, the militants started using people to come about suicide bombing, started attacking them. Before you knew it, American soldiers were being killed systematically. So what I'm saying in essence is, it is not because Nigerian government is silent, it's because they are being overwhelmed. And what they should do is, I think they should change their strategy. How to change strategy is to use technology to drive the process. Because the way it stands, technology is the way to go these days. Look at the way and manner under Trump, how American government killed Soleimani, a military diplomat in the whole Middle East. And that is Iranian military general that was killed in Iraq. So what am I trying to say? Nigerian government, until you drive the process of fight against insurgency through technology, we are not getting it right.
But do you think among the military, don't you think that some of them are bad eggs? What do you think can be done to pick out these bad eggs so that military can stand on their own and fight this war to the end?
what it takes is to have a decisive and a purposeful leadership. Because if you as the president and commander of the armed forces, every correspondence from the field comes to you. The chief of army staff, the chief of naval staff, the chief of air staff, the director of DSS, IG of police, name it, report to the national security advisor, who is a subordinate of Mr. President. So if he is driving the process efficiently, the problem can be handled. But the situation where police, army, DSS, in some cases, they abandon their core responsibility. They go after chasing shadow. At a point, the governor of Zamfara State, the governor of Borno State, in president of Zulum, was accusing the military that they have abandoned their responsibility and they go about mounting roadblock, extorting citizens. What am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that if you have bad eggs in the system, it behoves on the leadership of the system to feed them out. I think there should be a mechanism in place that check what is happening in the field. Good thing. In Nigeria, we have military police whose responsibility is to checkmate the activities of the military. Are they doing their job? And let me tell you this. It's unfortunate that in Nigeria, the military live above the law. I will remind you one thing. Look at sometime last year or so, when some policemen who went on official duty in Taraba State to arrest that kidnapping pin in the presence of Wadume, as they were summarily killed by Nigerian army soldiers under the supervision of a Nigerian captain, a captain of Nigerian army. When the thing came to front burner, Mr. President directed the former chief of defense staff to constitute a panel to investigate it. The panel came out with a report and indicted the captain and 9 other soldiers. As we speak, the Attorney General of the Federation charged the case to court. The military personnel and that captain, they are not involved. They are not among the persons that are being charged to court. Only with an excuse that the military high command refused to surrender those military personnel for prosecution. What, is that not impunity? Look at the Ensa saga. Look at how the military unilaterally pulled out of that panel. As we speak, they are not being represented. They are not attending the panel proceedings, and nobody is questioning them. Is that not impunity? So it's unfortunate that the military live above law in this country. And a situation where they'll be doing things and they are not challenged. You see, by the time Mr. A commits a crime, he's not being prosecuted. There's every tendency that Mr. B will commit it. The essence of law is to act as deterrent. So when people are not being deterred by prosecution, there's tendency that other people will continue committing the same crime. Thank you very much.
The issue of Chibok girls. Chibok girls were abducted or kidnapped 7 years ago. This is the 7th year. I think it was on March 2014. So it should be 7 years now, I think. I think I'm not mistaken. It's 7 years now. So, yeah, the reason why the kidnappers or abductors in the north are, not persisting, hearing from international communities and federal government to stop what they are doing is because of the silence on Chibok girls. We found out that after Jonathan, after Jonathan regime, Buhari promised the parents that they are going to, release those girls. They are going to, pounce on the Boko Haram insurgent and recover those girls back. But since then, nothing has been done. What Buhari regime did in 2015-16 was playing on the gallery, deceiving Nigerians that those girls have been released. Among those Chibok girls who were, presumably released according to the federal government, were interviewed by journalists. They found out that those girls they are showing us on telly are not Chibok girls. They are showing us fake children, fake people. They fake it. They say they were Chibok girls. They could not even read ABCD. They interviewed them. They found out that those girls were not even literate. They are illiterates. They are not the people we knew that were abducted by Boko Haram in 2014, I think.
or 15, 7 years ago. So you find out that they politicized it. APC government in 2018, 2017, 2016, they were showing us many, people, children, school children. They say these are the Chibok girls. To us, we really knew those girls were not Chibok girls. Till date, nobody were released. Those Chibok girls, they are still in captivity. These men that can use their voice, their word to change or manipulate people's mind. These are APC men. They can promise, they can talk, they can speak, but they cannot do. They are so active talking, verbal, but in action they are so slow. In the sense that they will see red, they will tell you, say this is black. They will see black, they will say it's green. Since then, Chibok girls, what about Dapchi? Dapchi 2017. Leah Chaibu is still in the bush. Leah Chaibu has gotten up to 3 children now. No, I'm telling you, I'm saying the fact. Most of those Chibok girls, they have given birth to at least 4 to 5 children now. So they are releasing them, verbal release. They are releasing Chibok girls. Today they will release Chibok girls. Tomorrow they will release Chibok girls. Their parents are dying. 30 out of the rest have died.